The knockout round is set for the World Cup. After a crazy last day of group stage yesterday, you had England beat Panama 2-0. You had Algeria tie with Austria 3-3 for both of them to reach the knockout stage. And you had Argentina beat Jordan 3-1 with Messi getting subbed in at the 60th minute, gathering another goal. Welcome back to the Harris Room Sports. We are here to cover all of the FIFA madness. But before we go over the World Cup knockout round and the bracket that we're looking at, we're going to look back at the best performances, the best team performances, and the best goals from the knockouts before the group stage. So let's start with the best goals from the group stage. And, I got to start with Mbappe in France and Dembele and all of the things that they were doing to these teams. France is looking super good against all these teams, and France is a scary team. France is a scary team. I do have France going all the way. But first, you saw this on another one. Mbappe's missile of a goal. Mbappe's missile. That was, I think to me, that was top two goals. Between this one and the Dembele goal, it was absolutely crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Let's get into that next goal that is going to be one of the top goals of the tournament. I have to rep the United States of America. As great as France is, I still have love for the boys. I still have love for the boys. So we're going to get into that Gio Reyna goal against Paraguay here. Let's show you how amazing of a goal that was. This Gio Reyna goal right here outside of the box comes in, shoots a stellar of a kick off his off foot just to give USA the 4-1 lead on Paraguay. And look how much of a beauty that was. This is exciting for the United States. United States is going to be one of my biggest winners coming out of the group stage. You got the United States, you have Mexico, you have France, but as you know, the French team, they did what they needed to do. We know that France was one of the biggest contenders. France would win all three games with 10 total goals. Dembele, 4 goals. Mbappe, 4 goals. Dewey and Barcola each with 1 goal. One of my next biggest winners is going to be Mexico. They won all 3 of their games. They had 6 total goals, but that's not one of the reasons they're one of my biggest winners. It is because they did not give up a single goal in the group stage. I believe that they shot 24 goals. Team shot 24 goals against Mexico, didn't concede a single one of them. As you know, one of their first games of the group stage was against Ecuador. Ecuador would not score a goal against them, and then Ecuador would go on to win against Germany. So for Mexico to have a shutout against Ecuador and then Ecuador to go and beat Germany, that tells me a lot about that Mexican defense, as you would know. And then give it a little stats behind why the USA was one of my biggest winners. They won back-to-back group stage games. They hadn't done that in 96 years. They had 9 total goals. And the last time they won back-to-back group stage games was 96 years ago. And they would finish 3rd in that World Cup. So, hey, I'm excited to see what USA can bring here on their home turf, right? They're at home. They have that 12th man, as you know. But back to the best goals from the World Cup. As you know, I'm going to get into Dembele and what he was able to do against that Norway team. He would go on to have a hat trick in that game. Not only did he have a hat trick, he had it before halftime. Absolutely crazy. Put on a crazy show. Is Dembele going to get another Ballon d'Or? I would be scared if I was Mbappe for that performance of Dembele and what he was able to do. Let's take a look at this shot here. Right outside the box. Comes in. Hey, Dembele was feeling himself this game. Dembele was feeling himself. That was the second shot that he would make. And boy, was the crowd going crazy. Let's take a look at that third goal that Dembele would have, because he knew that he had the hot hand. He knew that he was coming out there to put on a show, especially against Norway, who had Erling Haaland on the bench. Like, why do you have Erling Haaland on the bench when Erling Haaland, he's one of the runners for the Golden Boot, right? Against a team that has 2 players for the Golden Boot. We're going to get into the Golden Boot race here, but let's get into that third goal from Dembele. This goal was an absolute beauty. Here you got Dembele. He is on the outside, fakes that first shot, fakes the second shot, and is waiting for that perfect opportunity. The confidence that he had in himself to fake those shots, man, he had Norway defenders absolutely shook. Let's go back here on that back. Gets the ball, fakes it once, fakes it twice, and then shoots it for the third time. And man, was that absolutely a beauty to watch. That goal, that game was one of the best games that I saw that the France team put on. Some of the other best games from this group stage was, you saw it earlier, USA versus Paraguay when USA took the 4-1 lead. You had Germany versus Curacao. You had Canada 6-0 against Qatar. Jonathan David, he would go on to have a hat trick in that game. Qatar was very physical in that game. Canada would come out, they would take the high road. They would say, hey, you want to be physical, you want to get multiple cards, you want to try to hurt our players, we're going to take the scholar route and make sure that we absolutely run up the score against you guys 6-0. You had Spain 4-0 against Saudi Arabia. And the reason that that was one of my best games is because of what Lamine Yamal was able to do in that game and really find his footing. You know, that first game again, that first game that Spain played, Lamine Yamal, he came off the bench and he really never found himself in that game. But in this Spain game, Lamine Yamal would not only be able to find the back of the net, but also get multiple shots up. So let's look at Lamine Yamal's first goal off the cross here. They will send it across. Lamine Yamal running, gets the breakaway, and is able to put it back in. And the best part about this is Spain just absolutely put on a show against them. They will have multiple goals, 4-0, and they will find great passes that were kind of off script, right? There was one goal where the ball didn't touch the ground for about 4 to 7 seconds. Look at this header, volleys it, another header just to volley it to the back of the net. Spain really found their foot in this game. As you know, they were one of the favorites to win it all. And Spain would have, I believe, 27 shots on goal this game, with Lamine Yamal having 7 to 8 of them. So Lamine Yamal's confidence grew very much in that game against Saudi Arabia. You had Portugal 5-0 against Uzbekistan. Cristiano Ronaldo, he would have 2 goals in that game. There were a lot of question marks behind Cristiano Ronaldo and his ability to play. I was one of those people who fed into the hype, but guess what? He came out and he shut those haters down as soon as they played Uzbekistan. Another one of the best games, Spain, Cape Verde. Hey, Cape Verde, they're the Cinderella of this World Cup right now. They will face, who do they face that first round? I believe they play Argentina. Argentina, that first round in the knockout stage. That is going to be one of the best games. Cape Verde, hey, you got the Cinderella versus the GOAT, right? If Cape Verde was to eliminate Argentina in that first round, ooh, Cape Verde might erupt, right? Their fans are not going to know how to react. They're not going to know what's going on. And I'm going to get into that last goal here that I thought was one of the best goals of the knockout stage. Let's pull it up here. It's going to be Wilson Isidore, and from outside the box, just from that corner shot, his ability, the power on the kick, the curve, look at how much of a beautiful shot that was. I am so excited that I'm finally getting into soccer. I'm excited to see everything that this World Cup has to offer. Now let's look at the best individual performances. You saw the Ousmane Dembele goals when he had that hat trick against Norway. Next, I want to get into the Messi hat trick against Algeria and his ability to take that #1 spot in the most goals scored in a World Cup. Argentina is force feeding Messi the ball, but how could you not, right? He is the leading goal scorer right now, and he's trying to continue to separate himself from Mbappe, who I believe is now 3 goals behind because he didn't have any shots against that Norway team. I talked about it a little bit earlier. Another best performance was Jonathan David's hat trick against Qatar, and how that Canada team was able to take the high road. And I'm just excited to see it. I'm excited to see it. The Golden Boot race is heating up, though. Messi currently has 6 goals. Vinicius Jr., 4 goals for that Brazil team. Mbappe and Dembele both have 4 goals. Haaland with 4 goals, and he missed a game. Haaland has 4 goals and he missed a game. Let's think about that for a second. And then Harry Kane, I'm bringing him up because he currently has 3 goals, but he just went to become England's top scorer with 11 goals. England's number one scorer in the World Cup is Harry Kane right now. And it's just this knockout round is going to be absolutely crazy. The first game for this knockout round is today. Let's get into it. We're going to get into the bracket here now. Let's pull up the bracket and show you what it is looking like. We're going to go over the best game, what we think is going to happen, and everything that I want to see. Everything that I want to see. This is what the round of 32 bracket looks like right now. You have Germany at Paraguay. You have France at Sweden. You have Netherlands at Morocco. And let's highlight some of the best games from this first round. The best three games for me is going to be Argentina and Cape Verde. It's going to be Brazil and Japan, and it's going to be France at Sweden. Every time this French team plays, it is going to be must-see TV. You don't know what is going to happen, right? Is France going to take a huge lead and then sub in Barcola to get quick 1-2 goals just to end out the day? Is Dembele going to put up another hat trick? Is Mbappe going to have another golden game? So that is going to be my first one. And then you got Brazil, Japan. Japan currently has 7 total goals, but Brazil will be a challenge for them. Brazil and Vinicius Jr., is that Japan defense going to be able to hold up to prevent Vinicius Jr. from making a huge impact on that game? And then, as I talked about earlier, Cape Verde, the Cinderella story, the team that everybody wants to see win except Argentina. We want to see that Messi GOAT debate and to see if Cape Verde can end those talks. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for coming in to another episode of the Harris Room Sports. We're going to be covering the World Cup day in and day out. Hey, wait till that next video. I'm excited to see. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next one.